at the University of Nottingham. When I first began, a student stood up and said to me, there's no such being as God because of all the evil that is around in the world. I said, can we talk on that for a few moments? He said, yes. I said, remain standing. I'll talk to you. I said, when you say there's such a thing as evil, aren't you assuming there's such a thing as good? He said, yes. I said, when you say there's such a thing as good, aren't you assuming there's such a thing as a moral law on the basis of which to distinguish between good and evil? He struggled for a few moments with that, and I reminded him of the conversation between Frederick Copleston and Bertrand Russell. When Bertrand Russell was pushed to the wall by Copleston, Copleston said to him, Mr. Russell, how do you differentiate between good and bad? Bertrand Russell said, the same way I differentiate between blue and green. Copleston said, but wait a minute, you differentiate between blue and green by seeing, don't you? Yes. How do you differentiate between good and bad? Bertrand Russell said, on the basis of feeling. What else? Oh, wait a minute. Copleston was a kind man. He really should have turned to Lord Russell and said to him, Mr. Russell, in some cultures they love their neighbors. In other cultures they eat them, both on the basis of feeling. Do you have any personal preference? How can this brilliant mathematician philosopher make so basic an error? But he admitted it. In a letter to the Observer, he said, I do not know how to deal with this issue of morality. It haunts me. You see, the question of a moral law comes within us. So I said to him, when you say there's such a thing as evil, aren't you assuming there's such a thing as good? He said, yes. I said, when you say there's such a thing as good, you must assume a moral law. He said, all right, I'll grant you that. I said, but when you say there's such a thing as a moral law, you must posit a moral lawgiver. But that's whom you're trying to disprove and not prove. If there's no moral lawgiver, there's no moral law. If there's no moral law, there's no good. If there's no good, there's no evil. What is your question? He looked at me and I quote, he says, what then am I asking you?